Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of TGVGR. With me, as always, is Gravehonor.
Hi.
How's it going?
Um, all right, I guess.
It's
It's kind
going
of a
on.
slow day, so I don't know if I'm a little bit out of it today.
Kind of a slow day. Yeah, it was weird. Apparently, like the next town, like less than a mile over, got snow last night. We didn't get any. Like where I live, it was all rain. So
Yeah,
I don't get it. But good day to stay indoors.
with all the cruddy weather.
Yeah, for sure. So since our last podcast, like a lot of news came out. Like obviously, we do our podcast on Tuesday, and then that Friday, they did a Pokemon Direct after we just got
Wasn't it
done.
like the day right after the podcast, like Wednesday?
It might have been. I think it was Friday though. I'm not sure.
Either
Um,
way, it was like the week. It was during the same week of the podcast, but we couldn't cover it because it was, afterwards.
right. And then it was like, oh hey, look, we got to do another show talking about Pokemon again. and
So
it,
yeah, I guess might as well mention that first. The official new entries for anyone that somehow missed it or isn't usually interested is Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Switch.
yep. And here are the three new starters. Throwing that graphic up on the screen. So you have Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. And Paul Hebb says it was the day after. And if you guys didn't tune into that podcast, that particular podcast, we actually had Paul Hebbs on the show, and he predicted that the fire starter was going to be a rabbit.
And I had to give him an apology note.
Did you do that, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you do that at? In Discord?
Yep. It was still handwritten as per request. No postage necessary.
So you didn't mail him a stamp. You didn't mail him like a physical letter or anything.
No. It's still handwritten.
There you go. Hand typed. So, well, let's talk about these starters. My first impressions are this. Um, I think the overall like design of them is fairly generic. The score bunny is cute, but I mean, I this is another situation where I don't know which starter I'm gonna pick until I see what the actual evolutions are. Because the water one Sobble looks like just kind of like a. I know he's gonna have different abilities, but it looks just kind of like a Mudkip rehash to me.
Yeah, that's what other people have said.
And I saw a bunch of people who have posted the meme where it has like when you go to the grocery store and you buy the generic cereals that come in the big
Yes,
bag.
they actually fit really well on that.
They
Like,
do.
they might as well just do that and put some Pokemon cards in it or something to
Yeah,
promote it.
they look just like them. So, um, that's I mean, Sword and Shield. So I don't know. Like, I have no opinion about like. Oh, it wasn't like before with Sun and Moon where it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get Sun or oh yeah, I'm gonna get Moon. This one's just like, okay, it's Sword and Shield, and to me, it's really probably not gonna matter which one I get.
Yeah, because they still got a while to go because it's coming late 2019 instead of earlier, which I think the rumors pointed to. So even with the footage they showed, it said footage not final, but people are already kind of criticizing it and whatnot. But you kind of can't help it, I guess, since it's such a popular franchise. But for the starters, for me, again, I also agree on the generic. I usually don't think too much about the starters. I just pick one or I find one that I like. But with this one, it's like, eh.
Hmm.
I don't care much for monkeys, so Grookey is out. The blue one, I like Mudkip, even though I don't tend to like lizards or whatever, but Sobble's meh. So I would probably pick Scorbunny regardless of evolution just because I like rabbits and rodents and stuff.
Yeah, and I will.
But I saw recently that actually Sobble is the most popular starter with various polls
Yeah,
right now.
and I also saw somebody mention it, so I had to go back and look because I did see in the trailer. There was obviously they were kind of bringing back the whole Pokemon Stadium kind of thing where they're in the stadium fighting. But I also noticed at one point it shows the character walking out onto what looks like a soccer field.
Yes, I was gonna say that, and since it's like based on the UK, I wonder if they're gonna be like some kind of football mini game, like
Well,
they used to do Pokemon fitness mini games in
mhm.
like older series. Those are pretty fun.
Well, what it actually has me wondering is Score Bunny gonna be some type of soccer evolution. Because of
Huh.
like if you go back and you look at him and he's got the band-aids on and he's you watch that again and he's really fast and he's kicking things and it's like all right, so basically we're gonna run into like the Litton situation where he was a wrestler and now you're gonna have Score Bunny who's also the soccer player now, like a sports, or as Paul would
It
say, a
makes
football player.
Yeah, I tried to be proper and call it football, the UK football. It does make sense. It's just you have to say what region because some people are like, "Oh yeah, I love football." I'm like, "Do you know which one I'm talking about?" I
Yeah,
have to say European football because
yeah,
they're like, "Oh, soccer." I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah.
It
So
just depends what mood with which one I say, but yeah.
I feel like based on the trailer, it looks like there's definitely going to be some interesting elements of the game. And it looks like they're bringing some stuff back from previous games and whatnot. So I'm excited to see what happens. Of course, we got a long way to go. I think one of the release dates I saw was like December 19th. There was another one that said it was going to be um, early released in November, right before Christmas, of course.
That honestly seems to be the new release window they're sticking with, like October to December, because Christmas sales, holy crap.
Yeah, and I mean, just well, let's face it. The last what 2 3 years we've bought Pokemon games every year. The first year we got Sun and Moon. Second year we got Ultra Sun and Moon.
Hmm.
And then this year, Let's Go Eevee. And so yeah, it looks like they're gonna probably do that. Is Gravehonor secretly a Brit? No, no.
No, that was just I think something discussed when Paula Hebs was here.
Yeah, it was a Paul Hebs thing. Paul Hebs heavy influence on this stream. If you didn't know. Um, so
I
yeah,
never would have guessed.
I mean, the graphics look good. I'm sure it said not actual gameplay footage, but
Yeah,
it's
with
gonna.
certain points it does. Like, of course, when it shows like example Pokemon battles, and some are like, "Oh my God, let's go!" Actually, looks better. But when I look at a side-to-side comparison of just the example footage that's not finished,
Hmm.
I see a point of some people saying, "Actually, the new one might look better in a different way." Because they add a little bit more black lines to it, and it looks like it's a 3D anime Pikachu
Sure.
in that kind of way. How it would look good if they keep that style.
And the worlds and stuff look very lush. I will say the overall map looks very linear. It's very up and
Yeah.
down. So
I
hopefully,
do like the female's outfit though. That's the main character's. It's really cute.
well,
I
that's
don't know
all
why
that
they have such big backpacks though.
we've learned that that's all that matters is as long as it's cute. So
Yes.
all right. So, yeah, that's pretty much my only left opinions that I haven't already spoken on on the new Pokemon. So I'll just wait for.
Oh wait, there's one last thing.
Sure.
Um, I think an official newspaper, um, for some reason they thought Pokemon Gun was gonna be like the third iteration, and they were serious.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was just a silly thing.
I saw somebody post that as the kind of like the Emerald, you know.
Yeah, they haven't really done a third one like that in a long time though.
No, I actually thought that's what was going to happen with Sun and Moon, but what we ended up with was the Ultras, and it's not,
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing, but yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just gonna wait on the evolutions before I make a decision. But I'm more interested to see what new regional Pokemon spawn in this game.
Yeah,
Like
because
that's
of course, since they didn't spoil anything, they just showed some ones that have already been revealed in past games, and I'm very curious to see what new ones are.
the last time they did a
They'll
third was
probably slowly leak and tease people throughout the year if it's anything like past ones.
yeah. So was the last they did a third was Platinum? No, I'm not sure to be honest.
Let me think. It could have been,
Was
because
that
Platinum.
Heart
Yeah,
Gold
because
Soul
then
Silver?
Black, White, Black 2, White 2, XY, there was no third one. Then Sun and Moon, and yeah, I think that was the last time they did it.
Yeah, because I mean I know they remade. Well they did Omega Ruby and
Yeah, but they
Sapphire.
didn't do like Super Emerald. They just
Yeah,
kept the.
which that would have been really cool. I think I
Yeah.
would because I would have liked to have the two combined games in one for the 3DS. That would have been nice. Okay, so this morning I came across something, and I know you've never actually owned an Xbox, but
Oh, dude!
I
Why
just
would you do this to me?
I just had to share it with you because I know your affection for Oreos and cookies and cream and that kind of thing. And so I found this Oreos themed Xbox and had to put
That
it
you
on.
could win if you entered like the stuff inside Oreo sweepstakes, and I'm like, I really want this now,
Right.
just because.
I was like, whether you actually want an Xbox or not, I feel like if there was ever a reason for you to have one, it would be this one. It would be like if they made a pizza PlayStation 4 for me, you know.
Hmm. I wonder what the design would be.
I don't know. But yeah, so a Oreo themed Xbox One.
Yeah, don't lick the Xbox.
What's
Not very
what's
sanitary.
yo, what's up, Venom? What's your thoughts on that? Xbox, Oreo. What would you actually get on the Xbox?
Um, I don't know, cause this is an Xbox One. It was right.
Yeah, I think it's the
No idea.
one S or
I have
something.
not heard of any exclusive games that I am interested in, and the only one I was got canceled.
And see, that's my biggest thing with the Xbox is like
They
even in
don't
the
have enough exclusives
yeah, and when they do, it's always first person shooters. And so
usually. But this one was going to be like a big dragon action RPG open world thingy, and it looked really cool, and then it just got canceled one time.
yeah, well, I remember you were there were a couple games for the 360 that you did like with like the one actually called Blue Dragon, which I think that's why you liked it. Um, but for the 360 there were a couple of exclusives that were okay, but for the most part, like I felt like yeah, the exclusives that come to PS4 are just better. But they're getting to where now nothing's exclusive because it'll also hit PC most of the time. So, and I'm okay with that. So yeah,
Is there a lot of background noise in my microphone?
no.
Okay, just because to me it seems like it's very loud with neighbors, like the pipes are really loud and people are vacuuming and like pacing around above me. It's,
Mm. Well, oh Lord, there you go. All right, so let's see.
Well, then again, with the Xbox One, aren't they actually ahead of the game in terms of like versus PlayStation for like backwards compatibility? Like they're slowly adding backwards compatible games. So if that's the case, would I be able to buy like Xbox 360 games and play them on there?
Yeah, probably.
Was Blue Dragon a Xbox or Xbox 360?
Xbox 360.
So then that might work.
Yeah, you
But
could,
first, I would have to win the magnificent
and
box.
then you could go play Eternal Sonata.
I actually bought that for the PlayStation 3.
Oh, did you? After you
Yeah,
played it
after I
here?
played it, yeah. I
That's
had to buy it after I tried it at your place.
it's such a good game. And it wasn't talked about much, so not a lot of people knew about it. And I was actually surprised that that was one of the games that I was able to find on my own. And I was like, hey, I want you to try this game and see what you think. A wild Hebs has appeared. Yep. All right. So some real quick stuff. If you guys play Red Dead Redemption, they just did an online update that just came out today. That you can get classic weapons from the first Red Dead Redemption if you play the Red Dead online. See, I'm not a fan of the online play, but I guess it's neat that they're bringing back some of the old weapons for you guys, like nostalgia.
Mm.
Now they should just bring back some of the old maps. So, um, I'm trying.
So I oh
No, go
I don't
ahead.
want to interrupt your train of thought if you got something.
No, go ahead. I was just trying to think about what else I had in mind to talk about today.
Well, since I kind of said Xbox versus PlayStation at some point, apparently yesterday was the PlayStation 2's 19th birthday.
Holy crap, I feel older.
Exactly.
It's hard to believe
So
that almost 20 years ago for PlayStation 2. And I
I know it feels like it was just yesterday that I was playing like Shadow Hearts 2 a crap ton, and then Kingdom Hearts and all that good
and
stuff.
I feel like it was just Sunday that I was playing Final Fantasy X. Oh
You
wait,
were.
I was. So, but playing it for the first time almost 20 years ago for Final Fantasy X, and I feel like, oh well, that one was later in the series. Man, I start thinking back to Final Fantasy VII. That was I don't even want to think about how long ago that was.
So I know we start off with Pokemon, and I don't know if there's many Sony gamers in here, but if anyone has like favorites or memories from PlayStation 2 games, feel free to mention it, and we might have similar interests.
Yeah,
Of course, there's the Kingdom Hearts, started on PlayStation 2. It also got the second numbered sequel on the PlayStation 2. God, it makes you realize how long it took to get Kingdom Hearts 3 out.
yeah. I'm trying to think. There was a game for PlayStation 2 that I had that I really liked. That well, obviously the Baldur's Gate series was on there, but I want to
Oh
say,
yeah,
what was
like
it?
D&D RPG
What was
type
it?
thing.
Dark Cloud? Was that the name?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that was such a good one. I mean, to me, the first one was kind of iffy, but the second one is like a masterpiece, still in my eyes.
Yeah, and don't forget that's one of
Oh, there was a Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation 2? I never knew that.
yeah, I thought that was PlayStation 1, but the third one might have been on PlayStation 2 actually. I'm not sure. I didn't keep up with the Crash Bandicoot games.
Yeah, I only knew of like the original PlayStation, so I mean, that's kind of cool.
There were some Crash games. Well, yeah, there was like Crash Team Racing and stuff like that. Wow, it sounded like a little dog barked at your house. That was weird.
Like I said, the pipes are very noisy for the neighbors.
Yeah, the first three were on PlayStation 1, not the Naughty Dog ones, though.
Oh,
Okay.
so they might have not even been any good.
Yeah. And
Kind of
then,
like how they tried to do a Banjo Kazooie for the Xbox or something, and it was like mechanical cars involved or something. I don't know, but it was weird and not like Banjo Kazooie at all.
now, obviously at that time, PlayStation was like king of the Final Fantasy series, but like I said, in my opinion, Final Fantasy X was the last great turn-based in theirs because Final Fantasy X2 was just not good, and all the rest of them from that point on kind of went to like action RPGs, which
Mm.
isn't bad, and I'll still give them a shot just because of my love for Final Fantasy. But
Mm.
for me, there was also games on the PlayStation 2. And they could have been on Xbox as well, but I don't remember. But like Odin Sphere.
Oh yes, I forgot that started on the PlayStation 2. It
Yeah,
was a shame because it's still a really good game. I'm only saying it's a shame because I think they ran out of development time and they had to release it when there was a really nasty frame rate bug in a certain part of the story. It was so hard to play with those nasty frame rate drops.
yeah, and that's one of those games where timing
But it's
is
beautiful. It's hand drawn and everything, and the story. You get like 5 character stories to play through at least, I think.
yeah.
And they
That's
did like a re-release with Muramasa's faster combat system for newer systems.
nice.
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting a lot. Apparently, a lot of my gaming was new on the PlayStation 2.
No, you're fine. I keep trying to think because back then I was playing my original Xbox more, just because most of the games that I played were on both systems. But one game that I can remember particularly that I played for both systems that came out during that era was Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, which was a turn-based RPG based in Lord of the Rings stuff. So,
Was
and
that
I
the one that you streamed?
yeah, I actually played that all the way through on stream from start to
Mm.
finish. And because I like that game so much, I've probably played through and beaten it like 5 or 6 times already.
Oh
Um,
wow, nice.
but I just it's fun. It was at the time it was pretty decent looking visual. It's not that it didn't hold up well. I think when I played it on stream, I think it still looked good for what it was. But I mean, obviously, it doesn't look like these next gen console stuff anymore.
Yeah. I of course since my likes are limited, I don't know much of other PlayStation 2 type stuff other
Hmm.
than of course my interests. But I thought it was a pretty good RPG powerhouse,
Yeah, it
even if it
was.
wasn't Final Fantasy.
And see, that was kind of the thing. It was like, oh yeah, Grandia 2 was on PlayStation 2 as well, but that was also on the Dreamcast. So,
Hmm.
and I loved that game on both consoles. But that's kind of the way I was looking at it back then. Was like, if you were a first person shooter person, you went Xbox because Halo and all that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
if you went PlayStation, it was pretty much because you liked RPGs or JRPGs or you were just a Final Fantasy fan.
Hmm.
At one point, I owned like every console of that generation. Like I had the Xbox, I had the PlayStation 2, I had the Dreamcast, and I had the GameCube. And I I thought the GameCube had the better graphics out of all of them.
Oh wow.
Ironically, because it's the only time that I've ever thought Nintendo did a good job. But like I could play certain games on the Xbox and then turn around and play the same one on the GameCube, and it would run smoother or look the graphics would be a little bit more detailed. And but out of all of them, I mean, I don't even know. Like I definitely played my Xbox more, but
Hmm.
the PlayStation 2 for what it was, I think had the better titles.
Yeah, it had a really good amount of titles, and it's really nostalgic. Like one of my favorite turn-based RPGs I played for, and I have no idea why, because I'm a wimp. I will not play horror games because I am that much of a wimp. I can play some light creepy themes, but still can't be too horror or jump scares or anything. But I absolutely loved Shadow Hearts Covenant. I
Okay.
think it even had 2 discs and everything, but it had kind of some dark themes and dark story into it. And some of the enemies, when I think about it now, were freaking disturbing as crap. Like I think about that, I'm like, why did I not have nightmares or night terrors? Ugh.
Yeah, it's tough. Um,
I mean, I say I'm a pathetic wimp, and I love my casual apps and farming games and Farmville, and bleh, which is really dumb. But I, the main character could freaking fuse with demons. Like, how am I able to play this game?
well, I know that I'm trying to think. There were some there when I did play those horror games. I wasn't much into Resident Evil, but I did play a lot of Silent Hill games, and they
Mm.
split those games up. It was so weird because on the Xbox you could get Silent Hill like 2 and 5, but on the PlayStation was Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill: The Lost Room. I mean, it was weird how the games were split up
Huh.
over the consoles. But there was another one that I liked the idea of it. I played the first one and the second one, and then I saw they came out with a third, and I didn't even bother. But it was a game that was kind of like about ghost hunting, except with a camera. All you had was a camera,
Fatal
and
Frame?
yes, Fatal Frame.
That's pretty much jump scare the video game because you have to aim it at the ghosts that are gonna pop out. So no, thank you, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked those games. I liked the first one. It was kind of like that creepy vibe, and then I felt like they just kind of like the second and the one that was like Crimson Butterfly and a couple of the. It just felt like they just didn't have that same impact. It was like it was great for the first game, but
Oh,
it there was no shock factor anymore because you already played the first game, so you knew, like the first time you played it, there wasn't a game like that, and then the next time when they come out with two more, it's just more of the same. They honestly, they probably could have just made those DLCs or something like that.
oh.
That's what the equivalent of them. Um, so yeah, PlayStation 2 turning 19 this year.
Hmm. And just the last things that I can mention off the top of my head, they had an interesting amount of anime games too, and the ones that come to mind are like Manakemia, which is kind of like a spin-off of the Atelier Iris series.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Um, but oddly, I actually got started with the second one with Atelier Iris 2, The Azoth of Destiny, and then I played the first one a little bit, but I never beat them because I chicken out. But it had cute, anime pixelated characters in like a kind of chunky 3D world. It probably wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but it had a lot of emphasis on like crafting and alchemy in the middle of fights or in between. And the second one had a dragon character, and he was awesome, so I kept him in my party forever.
You and your dragons.
And Manakemia was kind of like the spin-off where it's kind of like you're in an alchemy academy and your students going through the stories and stuff. And depending on your grades, you actually get a free session where you can, I guess, get ahead and try and level up so it's not as hard for the next set of tasks and stories.
Hmm.
It was pretty interesting, but hard because you have to do really well to get that free period. I don't know if that means you'll get a game over if you fail.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never
It
actually
would kind
played
of
any of the.
suck.
I own a few games from that series. I just have never actually played them
Mm.
because backlog.
Yeah, and also it's changed a bit since then. Like
Oh,
the first two Atelier Iris ones I talked about, it was like a traditional turn-based combat story with some crafting. But the Atelier Iris is now, are like all casual crafting, cute stories, which is not bad, but I mean they've changed a lot.
And I'm totally forgetting one of the other games that I streamed from for PS2, which was those Suikoden games. Those were actually
Oh,
really
that was
good.
the PlayStation 2?
I think one of them was PlayStation 2.
Oh.
Um, if I know that there was a couple that were on PlayStation, but I think that one that I streamed was on PlayStation 2. I think I'd have to look into it. I've automatically just associate Suikoden with PlayStation. I just don't know which one. So, but they were good games. They were great. I was glad a viewer suggested that.
Oh,
Okay,
so viewer suggested that one to play?
yeah, that Suikoden. Don't you? Sibria. Do you remember Sibria? That used to.
Oh yeah, I think I do a little bit.
Yeah, Sibria was like, "Oh, you need to play Suikoden. It's like one of the best turn-based games." And I started on like the second one, and then they were. I was like, I don't have to know anything about the first one, right, to play this one. So,
Hmm.
um, it was kind of. And then they explained that yeah, they make reference to characters, but it was more like the Final Fantasy series, where one has nothing to do with the other, pretty much.
Okay, it would just be a bonus if you happen to know.
Sure. And then, real quick, I did see the April Fool's League of Legends stuff.
Oh, freaking! I haven't played it in freaking months, so I keep thinking I'm pretty much quitting.
Hmm.
And then they do something like that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it,
The
League!
the
I don't
cor-
even have the money for this, but I want it.
the Corky Corgi.
And the cat Rengar, I don't know what the name of that one was, I forget. But the only thing I can think of when I see the trailer is if I fits, I sits. You and freaking purrs. That's great.
Well,
Uh,
I think the Corky
the
Corg.
dog fizz is kind of random though.
Yeah, Furry Fizz was the
Mm.
name. But the Corky Corgi, I think that one will go good with the Pug Mall. Where Cogmall's a little
Oh yeah.
pug. So, I mean, I doubt I'll get the skins for them unless, honestly, they get unlocked in a chest or they do another one of those, like, here's your store. But
Yeah.
for
The
me,
discount personal store.
yeah, for me, unless it's gonna be a new Timo skin, it probably won't show anything worth me getting because that's all I play now. So,
Mm-hmm.
Timo and Thresh. But it's cool. Like the last few of their skins, to be honest, that League of Legends has put out have been underwhelming. They just did these papercraft skins, and they're not terrible,
Oh, I
but
didn't even hear of those. They sound interesting.
well, it's like okay, so Anivia has one, and I think Nunu, but they're made to look like they're made out of origami, like
Mm-hmm.
paper craft stuff. They're okay, but also Riot has not been releasing any skins that were cheaper than 1350 anymore. So even like the regular skins are like 1350. And of course they did like the Chinese New Year skins with like how they had like the dragon Corky and all that kind of stuff. This year they I think that Vayne was one of them. I really haven't been paying attention to the newer skins, to be honest, um, because they just haven't been I'm just not as interested in the skins as much as I used to be. Like before, it was like, oh, I play Volibear, I gotta own all the Volibear skins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I play this, I gotta own all the skins for this. And even with Teemo,
Probably.
all I
Oh,
cared about was having the little devil. Like,
yeah.
and
Have
it's
you gotten that yet?
yeah, I got it, and it's
Okay.
messed up. Like right now, there's a bug on that skin, so if you,
Ah.
but it doesn't like affect the gameplay, but you can't laugh. Like if you press the laugh button,
Oh.
nothing happens.
Well,
And
personally, I'm okay with that.
that just happened on the last patch. Well, you know what? There's nothing more fun than somebody trying to all in on you and thinking they're gonna kill you and run you over because you're just this little squishy Teemo, and then you kill them. There's nothing more fun than as soon as they do that, you just hit that laugh button real quick as soon as they die. Like you give them the little Teemo laugh and just keep farming. Yeah. So I'm good,
Ugh.
and that's what happened. Was in the last time it had the your store. The little devil Teemo skin was up there for 70% off, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna finally go ahead and pump some more money into this game and go ahead and get that skin because I really want it. So I think there's
Mm-hmm.
like two total Teemo skins that I don't own, which is the Omega Squad, which I don't like that one because it talks too much. It literally talks every couple of steps, and he's just talking nonstop. It gets annoying.
Mm.
And then it seems like there's one more. Oh, the Panda Teemo. I don't have Panda
I actually have that one.
Teemo. So those are the only two Teemo skins I don't own. But if they come out with a new one, uh, maybe just I hope they put a little more thought and creativity into it.
Well, if you could design a new Teemo skin, what kind of theme would it be?
Um, hmm. Right off the bat, I couldn't tell you. I mean, they did the BMO skin, so they already did that, where he's the bee. And they did, and then the chromas make him different bugs, like he can be a ladybug or whatever. Um, and the Satan one, the Devil Teemo, those were like the two memes that you want in a Teemo skin. But they have Super Teemo, the Astronaut Teemo. So I really don't know what would be left. They would have to come up. Maybe you know what I need? I need a gentleman Teemo. Like they have
Hmm.
gentleman Nar and gentleman Cho'Gath. I need a gentleman
It would
Teemo.
be cute, but how would it work?
Well, he would have to have his little top hat, of course.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, I'm trying to think, would move wise change, or for the gentleman series, they just look cute in their formal
Yeah,
attire?
they're just dressed in their formal attire. Maybe
Okay.
maybe whenever he talks, like he says,
Because I know they changed some of their dialogue for Cho'Gath, but I think that's the only exception they made.
yeah, well, and they changed the vocals so that when he talks, he's like, "Pardon me" and stuff like that when he's
Hmm.
walking. So I was just thinking about different things that Timo says, like maybe saying it in that little gentleman style, not even like the Hut 2 3 4 or whatever. And I don't know. I don't deserve to troll with Timo until you have all his skins. Hey, hey, I have 5 accounts with Timo. Okay, I'm I'm well versed in Timo trolling. So yeah, that's really
Yeah,
all.
tally ho.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Or like,
Oh, that makes you think they could somehow. It would be completely against his nature, but if they made a gentleman Kled, because Tally ho on a
oh
horse, because
yeah,
his lizard would be like a horse instead.
yeah, true, true for sure.
But
Um,
yeah, it wouldn't work with Kled just because he's such a loudmouth, crazy one.
yeah,
Then again, Nara's a prehistoric Yordle, so it shouldn't work with him either. So never mind.
yeah. You never know what they're thinking with that stuff.
Hmm.
Also like arcade Timo would be a good one.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
where because he's already shooting the little poison darts or whatever, so you could make that little 8-bit sound and have the little like Space Invaders type laser missile
yeah.
that comes out.
And
Yeah.
when they're taking poison damage, they just get like little purple square pixels along
Yeah,
their character.
and then when you kill them, of course, it's or every time you level up, it says one up. Like little things like that. So, I still think the best idea I personally ever had for a skin was a skin that I thought up for Jinx, and but there's no way they could do it because they'd have to get licensing from Nintendo. But
Oh,
but think about this. All right, Princess Peach
I'm still
Jinx.
kind of waiting for a Pokemon MOBA to happen because now I think it'll work.
Yeah, true.
Anyway,
So, but think about this: Princess Peach Jinx, where she's dressed up like Princess Peach in the gown and the little crown on. She, those little chompers that she throws on the ground that clamp down and hold people still.
I
Those,
guess it would be Chain Chomp minis.
yeah, or they could be the little plants that come up.
Oh yeah, Piranha Plants
And
too.
then her ultimate, where she shoots the big missile across, would be the Bullet Bill, like the big black
Hmm.
bullet that flies across the screen.
Yeah.
I think that would be like an amazing skin, to be honest. But I don't know. They'd have to get a lot of license. See, they used to do spoof skins. You could look at like the old art. Like they've changed a lot of those splash arts now, but like you could look at the old art and see what they were spoofing. Like there was a Pantheon skin that when you looked at it, he was wearing the same outfit that He-Man wears. So you knew that was a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe skin, even though it was called something completely different.
Hmm.
But so they used to get away with spoofing some skins, but they don't really do that much anymore. Yeah, Frozen
Mm.
Shin and Warlord Shin. I mean, that was obviously Sub Zero and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Um, there was a lot of skins like that. So,
It's
um,
too bad they can't just keep kind of doing that, like hinting at it without it being, just right in your face, like brand name.
yeah,
I
because
guess.
imagine it: a Sonic the Hedgehog Rammus, a um, a Spyro the Dragon Aurelion Soul. Stuff like that. Like how cool that would be that you could have like those type of skins. Or even Spyro Shyvana.
I'm not sure if that would work.
You don't think so? I mean, she is a dragon after all.
Well, that's why.
Well, still. I mean, look.
Well, I mean, I guess if she got like the Spyro skin look when she
Yeah,
became a Dragonite then.
yeah, just
And
the
she wore like purple and gold armor.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
never mind, that's better.
just the purple and gold. It doesn't mean it would actually be Spyro, but I'm saying like, Ramus and Sonic the Hedgehog have a whole lot in common. That skin just makes sense.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it would be cool. League is, God, they're going on what 9, 10 years old now.
Well, now there has to be a crossover MOBA.
Yeah.
Who's
Well,
gonna make it?
you know what'll happen? It'll be a crossover MOBA that is like those apps where it's freaking pay to win everything, and you got
Mhm.
the events that happen to unlock stuff, but you can't get enough whatever it's asking for without buying a chest that costs twenty
Yeah.
dollars. So,
I thought of like something really random though. Like if they did do a crossover type thing, I thought instead of being like the characters themselves, you just kind of make a generic avatar or a shadow or something, and they just like wear the costumes of the characters to get like similar abilities.
hmm
And then sometimes maybe costumes would drop somewhere and they're completely random, so you could change something for the better that you're good with or something really crappy.
yeah.
That sounds kind of fun in a weird way.
Um,
And costumes, I don't know, weird.
well, oh yeah, and there was one Kennen skin that was called Deadly Kennen, and it
Oh
was
yeah, does
one.
he look like Deadpool?
He was Deadpool, 100%.
Deadpool. Bleh.
Yeah. So I am gonna say this real quick. If you guys don't know about Epic Games, you can go there and they basically give out a free game every 2 weeks, and it's like not like generic games. Like since they've been doing it, like I got Subnautica and a couple of other ones. Um,
They've done Axiom Verge, What
yes.
Remains of Edith Finch, and they're
Yep.
gonna do My Time at Portia or Slime Ranch.
No, okay, so the free one right now is called Thimbleweed Park. That one lasts for 2 more days. And then
Okay.
starting March 7th through March 21st is Slime Rancher. And I had actually been waiting. I bought you Slime Rancher, but I wanted to just watch you play it. And now, I mean, of course, here it is probably 2 years later, but now Slime Rancher is going to be free, and I'm kind of excited. So if you guys want to get Thimbleweed Park today or tomorrow, and then on what is that? That'll be Thursday, the 7th. From the 7th through the 21st, you can actually get Slime Rancher for free.
And I doubt they're gonna keep this gimmick going to keep people coming to join them. So I mean,
I mean,
hey, free games.
they're gonna have to for a while, just because what they're actually there's a lot of games leaving Steam and coming
Yeah,
to
they're actually
Epic.
going specifically to Epic Games. Like I think the free to play version of like Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
What the heck is it called? I forget. Dauntless. That one is actually only going to exclusively Epic Games for their client, so you can't get their client anywhere else but Epic Games once it's ready.
yeah, and so they're gonna keep giving. That's how they're doing it. Is they're getting these game companies to kind of sponsor, and they're able to give out these free copies of the game. And yeah, Fortnite is free over there too. I wouldn't download it if it was free. I just don't want that game.
Also, I'm not sure how true it is, but I heard that the indie people are wanting to go over there more because they actually don't take as much money to put your game up for sale as Steam does,
Yeah.
like commission sales or whatever the heck it is.
Well, I mean, so
I'm a derp.
I could tell you for a while they're gonna be giving away free games constantly. It might not last forever, but they are gonna give away free games constantly until they build up their customer base. But if they don't keep their prices in check, um, they'll still run into the same problem because people will come there for the free games like me, but I'm
Mhm.
not going to pay $3 more for a game on that site when it's cheaper on Steam.
Yeah, and you can find Steam discount codes everywhere because they've been around for so long.
Uh-huh.
But it is interesting to see these things pop up to try and give Steam some competition.
Yeah.
So it might make Steam better in the long run. You don't know. We'll have to see.
It
Oh,
could.
that reminds me. Like the Discord actually has like a mini store they're starting up.
Yeah, and
Like they have a couple of
actually,
things on here.
Twitch has one. So you download the Twitch app, and if you're a Prime member, they give you free games every month. You get like 4 or 5 free games every month.
Oh, and also don't they actually get like free loot depending on the game they're playing?
Yeah, I actually just cashed in my free loot for this month on League of Legends. It gave me a skin permanent, a ward permanent, and an
Ooh.
icon or an emote permanent. I can't remember.
Nice.
And they did that one time before, and it only gave like a legendary skin shard. It was just like you still needed to pay for it, but this time they actually gave you permanence, and so that was really cool. But if you have the actual Twitch app, and it works like those same dashboards. Like you can download the games for free. They're yours to keep. It's not like they expire in a month. But they're getting pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say they're like there's definitely no AAA titles in there or anything, but you know, uh, they did try to give out the free $20. It's normally 20 or $25. They gave you the entire starter pack for Final Fantasy Online,
Hmm.
and that was the thing that I was telling you. I was like, I got this code, but then I found out you still got to pay like $12 a month once that 45 days is up or
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm not interested in a subscription to a game like
Yeah,
that.
that's why it's like even though the free to play games can have their problems because, too much cash up or whatever, some of them it's ignorable and it's like I can't pay like an entire year just to play a game. I
Yeah,
just want to pay once.
yeah. When it's $12 a month and you do the math, I mean that's over $120 a year that you're paying to play.
That
Uh,
one game.
yeah, a game that you already paid for.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, it's nuts. But you had a game that you just showed me that you wanted to talk about. The Stranded Sales. So why don't you talk about that one a little bit?
Well, I mean, I just saw it today, so I don't really know much about it, but apparently it's from the people who made Harvest Life, which I don't know what to think about that. I was watching it for a while on Steam, and it seemed like it got mixed reviews because it was early access. Then all of a sudden, I saw it was on Nintendo Switch eShop, and apparently there's a lot of farm loving game people on there because they expect Harvest Moon on a Nintendo system at some point. And in comparison, they're saying Harvest Life is pretty much trash. And I look at like the screenshots and like the gameplay, and I'm like, this doesn't look finished. And yet they're selling it on the Switch eShop for maybe whoever doesn't do the research or doesn't know. So that kind of makes me a little bit iffy because they're selling this game wherever they can for people who don't know or don't care to do the research.
Hmm.
They'll buy it and can't get their money back, and then it'll fund this new project. But I will say, just from the trailer so far, it looks better.
Okay.
But I think I would say there could have been a better way to fund it, but Kickstarter or Indiegogo isn't always the best option either because people are skeptical from projects not seeing the light of day and them not getting their money back. But
Yeah.
it's it says not sailing, farming on a deserted island. You craft and gather resources and of course farm. It said something about a crew, so maybe you have to keep them well fed, make a shelter, and I guess you can explore. It says up to 7 islands and do quests, like main story quests as well, if you don't want to just chill out and explore. So far, it sounds like another My Time at Portia where I would really like it and chill out on. But I'll see. I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
Somebody said they need to remake a new Harvest Moon game, and I was gonna be funny and put in, Light of Hope was, the newest. But I
Ah,
accidentally said light Light of Ho, and
I don't think that was an accident with that face right next to it.
well, it actually was because I was gonna
Oh.
say Light of Hope as because I know how most Harvest Moon people feel about that, but the comment right after it was like that's a good waifu farming, and then I was like, wait, now it makes sense, Light of Ho, because that's what you
Oh,
do.
speaking of that though, I do think, I mean, it's been a while since I heard, but I did hear at some point, like maybe during the first year of the Switch's life or whatever, since I guess it just turned 2 also
Hmm.
this month, I think. Like it just turned 2 years old. Yay, it's still a toddler. Anyway, I did hear that I think the Bokuju Monogatari, the official Harvest Moon like story of seasons, I think they're planning a Switch farming game.
Nice.
Unless they cancel it for some reason, but I don't imagine why they would. Because people really want it and it would pretty much sell. And of
Yeah.
course, there is the Rune Factory 4 remake kind of thing with additional end game content with like the waifu and husbando stories, like newlywed life stories. And then Rune Factory 5 is being made. So,
Yeah, there'll be some
yeah.
good farming games for you coming up.
Yes.
All I want to know is when is Re Legend coming out?
Yeah, I don't know, but they did finally start the alpha tests.
Her,
So it's good signs.
they, there's a question in the chat that wants to know your favorite hot anime guy, and I'm gonna answer that right now. Um, her favorite hot anime guy is uh is a cat, and
What?
Natsume Yujinchu. So Natsume in the Book of Secrets. There's a cat, an orange and gray cat. That's
No.
her favorite anime guy.
That's your favorite.
No, who's your favorite?
Natsume!
Who's your favorite hot anime guy?
Ah,
She doesn't see
I
people like that, you know. She doesn't distinguish between hot and cold. And
I, I don't remember. I remember I do like the designs of some characters though. Let me see.
here we
I
go.
think I
She's
like the
opening up her folder of saved images of hot anime guys so she can go through the list and say, okay, here's the ones that I said were hot.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Um, but I remember I liked the design of Claws from the first story seasons because usually these Harvest Moon games, their designs can seem like they're really young, and this person, the Claus guy, he looked like an adult. No, not Santa Claus. But yeah, he said he's like a perfume. He's like a perfumer or something, and says, "Oh, he might have an edgy past or something." And I'm like, that's kind of dumb, but that's what they hinted at in the little book that came with the game. Uh, yeah, there was. Uh, I think in that one they had a couple of quote decent looking anime guys, but that's the one I remember most because he stuck out the most. Like that was the first time they made someone look like old enough to be an adult and probably marrying age. Because some of them look really young. Like another one in that game, I can't remember his name, but he looks like a blonde kid and he runs the antique store. He looks like he's about 13 years old.
Yeah, you wait.
No, like too young for this.
You wait till I get my Cloud Strife wig in, and then we'll talk. Um, yeah. So I don't
But yeah,
know.
they had some nice looking ones, I think, in Room Factory 4.
Okay.
Like the butler was cute with the blue hair. I don't remember his name, but it might be uh biased because I think his little voice clips are from Vic Mignogna or whatever you say his name. It
Mm.
sounds like him anyway. But yeah, it was cute.
It's hard
I
to
don't remember anything else.
it's hard to pick like anime stuff because they're drawn in a way sometimes that you don't know if they're actually age appropriate or not. It's like,
Yeah,
well, this person's like, okay, here's a good one. So Umaru, right?
yeah.
Umaru's cute when she's in her
Chibi lazy form.
chibi lazy form, but she's also kind of cute when she's in her other form. But I think she's like 14. So it's like you can't be like, oh yeah, she's hot because that's just wrong.
I mean, they
Um,
did. I think she was supposed to be in high school, but maybe she's like a freshman. I can't remember.
yeah, so it's weird. I would say what anime waifu I've been cheating on. Let's see,
Oh, the original one was
Mikasa,
Vi,
Mikasa, 100%.
sort of.
Um, Mikasa from Attack on Titan was my
Mhm.
first woman anime crush, but
So
to
I'm
be
kind of crushing on her too,
yeah,
to be fair.
that's what I was gonna say. To be fair, when we were watching it, she said she was crushing on her as well, and I've never heard her say stuff like that before, so it must have been pretty good. Um, the other one, as weird
I'm
as
kind of afraid of where the chat is going.
yeah, I know,
Just
right?
keep it going.
The other one, which is weird, believe it or not, and it's not because of how they were drawn or how they look, but because of their attitude and how they acted, was the manager in Working in Wagnaria.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I could see that.
she's got like this weird secret past where like she's got these gang members, but she's also like just constantly always eating, always wanting to know where the food is.
Constantly wanting a parfait
Yeah,
and her mafia girl or whatever to make it for her. That's what they hint at
yeah,
anyway.
the girl that always carries a sword to work. So, but yeah, she, you know, and then there was one scene where she came out with like the baseball bat with the nails and spikes all over it.
And she was so casual, like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, nothing bothered her whatsoever. So I thought, I, you know, I thought she was cute in her own way. Um, but yeah, it's too hard because most of the animes that we watch, I mean, they are supposed to be little kids. I mean, obviously, everybody who comes to this stream knows I'm a fan of Achi Kochi, but I wouldn't make any of them a waifu, you know. So,
Yeah.
but
You sure you wouldn't like the Chinese bun orange head and made the bear suit to scare the crap out of him?
I mean, give her 10 more years. What was her name? Miyoki or Miyami or something like
I
that.
don't remember. It's been a
Miyazuki
while.
something. Um, but yeah. And then of course there's the ones where they just kind of overly draw them. So even in Wagnaria, remember his sister that kept coming in the restaurant, the drunk.
Oh,
But she, they overdrew her, if you know what I'm saying, on the top side. They
oh,
overdrew.
yeah, that happens a lot.
So, um, yeah, anime stuff is just kind of weird like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, as far as games are concerned, I can't really remember anything else like that.
Now I will.
Like he says, I usually don't think about it like that unless it's specifically a goal to get married,
Now,
which is very rare, like Harvest Moon and stuff.
no offense to
Oh,
anyone. What?
sorry, one last thing. Since it technically counts as a game and it started as a game, the Amnesia characters. Of course, they drew them on purpose and they tried super hard to make all the guys, quote, hot. I do like their designs because it seems like they shop at Hot Topic, which is like my place. And also, they made really pretty multicolored eyes. But it started as a visual novel and then they got an anime,
And
so.
then I was like, yo, I'm gonna play this Amnesia visual novel, and she's like, why? Is there a guy you like? I was like, oh wait.
Don't play it, I won't judge.
I was like, oh wait, is that what it's about? Never mind. So, but I will say this. My first like actual like super video game crush was Riku in Final Fantasy X, and even seeing her again in playing Sunday, and not even in the like her normal wear and outfit, like it brought back a little. I was like, you know what? That was my first video game crush. And I remember when I was working at, and the God, this is going to show age here. I was working at Blockbuster Video, and when Final Fantasy X came out, and the strategy guides that for Final Fantasy X had this insert, the pull-out poster on the inside, and it was actually Riku. And I was like, I bought it just for that. I was like, I'm putting Riku
Oh
on my
man.
wall. Like Riku, if you here, I'm gonna you go ahead and talk. I'm gonna put this image up on screen, okay? And I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know if you're actually watching.
Oh crap, I forgot I could multitask and put it on
No,
the app.
you're fine. But it's as soon as you see a picture of Riku, like you'll know.
She's the long black haired one that fights with her fists, right?
No,
No?
no.
Dang it, which one is she?
Riku is I'm about to put it up right now. We're gonna put it up on the screen, and then everybody's gonna get. Um,
Demonetized?
no, it's not porn. I'm not gonna get demonetized for porn. Let's see.
Oh.
Here's Riku, and let me just say that she was my first video game crush. Okay, so that's Riku had the blonde hair with the blue eyes, but she had like these kind of dreadlock type things. She wore basically a bikini top with like this mini skirt that over her hip.
Demonetized.
Yeah, the over her hip had like the little thong string or whatever. But it wasn't just the way
Uh,
it. Well, she's showing off her belly button and stuff, but that's that's the point. But it wasn't just that. She was just that type of character. Like in the game, she was really nice to your main character. Like not necessarily trying to be a love interest. Um, she was being helpful, but there were definitely parts where she had like her ditzy kind of like blonde moments and things like that. So she was funny. She had a sense of humor. It was like okay, I could see this. Like so yeah. Anyway, that was Riku, and that was my first video game crush.
I honestly don't remember a first video game crush at all, so
You?
I didn't really think much of it at any point, I guess.
Yeah.
But dang, it's like the first time I did get married in the game, it was like love at first meeting. I I helped them get back the chicken that they had lost, and we just had the most deep conversation ever. and they're just like, the best question that just sealed it, and all the sparkles came out was, "Do you like chickens?" And then she had to become my
Hey,
wife.
didn't we just talked about this because I remember you telling me this story.
I had to use the joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Oh
I
yeah, that was when Friends of Mineral Town came out for the Game Boy Advance, and you couldn't play a girl yet. So I'm trying to be funny. Her,
the best pickup line is do you
do
like
you like
chickens?
chickens?
Yeah. Gravehonor was too much of a hardcore gamer to notice the lads until Titan came along, of course. Even then, she still doesn't notice. Like I had to beg, I had to be like, "Yo, look at me, senpai." Um, no.
It kind of sounds like I'm that dude from the one anime that doesn't like 3D girls, except that would be 3D guys. Nope, 2D or get out.
Yeah, 2D or GTFO. So yeah.
Oh god.
All right. Was there any other video game news now that somebody spiraled us off into waifu territory? Was there any other video game news that you wanted to get out before we end?
Well, I guess this is kind of anime related in a way. A game I've been watching for a while recently came out. What the heck? I have to look up the title because I remember the first part, but not the rest of it.
You know it's a good game when you
Called
can't
Remy
remember the
Lore
name.
Lost Girl in the Lands of Lore, and pretty much an anime style Diablo beat 'em up dungeon crawler kind of thing with some light randomization and roguelite that they call it, but I just think that means some randomness in it.
Okay.
So far I've skimmed reviews and it's been kind of mediocre, but when I look at the bottom line, they say, "Oh, we think the music might be a little bit repetitive, the combat's a bit simple, so you might get bored from the tediousness of it, and it's just kind of generic with nothing to set it apart from like Diablo and stuff like that." And I'm like, I still kind of want it because it's anime themed and it's a simple beat 'em up. I think it looks pretty fun, so I can sometimes be easy to please, but yeah. So that's it. It just recently came out for the Switch, and I'm probably gonna get it at some point.
Okay.
Mediocrity of others say or no words.
Well, let me think. Let me see. There are the games that are coming out this month for
Oh, I
March.
know another one comes out. Sorry, when you're done.
All right, these are the game releases scheduled for March. A couple of these have already come out because they came out on the first. That was Dead or Alive 6 for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove, which is a remake of the old Toe Jam and Earl type
Oh,
games, which is interesting. Today, actually, Left Alive came out for PS4 and the computer. Total War Three Kingdoms, Devil May Cry 5, Kirby's Epic Yarn on March 8th, The Division 2, Super Robot Wars, The Sinking City, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice on March 22nd, Tropico 6, and Yoshi's Crafted World on March 29th. So that's the schedule of games coming out for this year. And yes, I did see the the season pass is almost $100 for Dead or Alive 6.
holy crap.
Yeah,
What's the point of a season pass of a game that you buy again?
I don't know. There's a
Like,
lot
I
of
don't even
games
know
like
what a
that.
season pass is. I just thought it's another word for DLC.
Oh, and for April, real quick, Shovel Knight Showdown comes out in April.
What the heck is that? I haven't heard of that one.
Shovel Knight, um,
I mean, I know what Shovel Knight is, but I haven't heard of, like, that.
yeah. So Shovel Knight Showdown is basically I'm guessing it's sounds to me like it's going to be kind of like that battle royale version. Who knows with all the battle royale stuff. Um, but also Mortal Kombat 11, that that game called Days Gone, which is coming to PS4. Super Meat Boy Forever, and that game that you just mentioned, Dauntless, comes out for the PC, Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Oh,
All in
I might actually get it for the PlayStation 4 then, because my computer gets kind of hot when I tried to play it last.
all in April. So a lot of good stuff coming up, and I'm sure we'll be able to touch base on a few of those
Mm.
in the
The one
in
I was going to mention must have been pushed back, because I heard it was supposed to come out near the end of March, but doesn't seem to be on that list.
which game is that?
Mm. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Again, kind of farming gimmick attached to it, but you're playing like a cute little goddess of prosperity or good harvest or something. You're trying to help this town get their rice field back in health.
I mean,
And it also has some pretty nice looking side scrolling action combat.
it says Sakuna of Rice and Ruin release date was 2018. So
I haven't heard anything of it though.
I'm gonna look at it right now, real quick,
Hmm.
before we end. Um, yeah, it's well now it says release date coming 2019, but the
Yeah, like it was supposed to I think release in 2018, but it got pushed back and I haven't heard anything since the last time they said the release date, which supposedly was the very last day of March, but it could just be another placeholder.
yeah,
Dang.
right now on their official site on Xseed Games, it actually just says 2019. It doesn't even give a specific month. So
Bah. Anyway.
so yeah, we'll have plenty of upcoming games to talk about for next Tuesday and everything. And also, I'll be looking at we
Rice
have
Field Simulator with cute girls, yes.
we have been talking to a couple people for bringing more special guests onto the show. And I'm actually waiting on one particular voice actor right now that I think you guys will enjoy, but I won't say it until he gives me the confirmation. Grave, you know who he
Hmm.
is. He's the one I've been
Hmm.
talking about that needs to come on the show. Um, it has needed to come since the announcement of Red Dead. Um, so yeah,
Sorry to disappoint, Cup Noodles.
you when you do your Texas accent, you're. I tried to imitate your Texas accent, and people reminded me how much it sounded like Goofy.
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah, yeah, that came from. I was on Paul Hebb's stream one day, and he was like, "Yeah, I can do all these accents." Of course, they all still sounded British to me, but um, he said he said somebody said, "Well, do a Texas accent," and he goes, "Okay." And that's all he did. He goes, "There, that's my Texas accent." And I said, "Okay, that was great." So, oh, by the way, Paul Hebbs, before we end this, during stream yesterday, people mentioned that you now need to make a song for sub battles, not just the pleb battles. You need a sub battles song. That was requested by the chat yesterday, so I told him you would get on that. Nice. All right. So, anything else you want to touch on? I'm done. So, whatever. Anything else you want to talk about, real quick?
um, I think I'm pretty much good, except just mentioning that for anyone who's in that Yoshi game that's coming out, the demo is still on the Switch eShop if you want to give it a try before you buy.
Cool. eShop demos. See, you know me and demos. Like, I won't play demos, but she's a demo queen.
Well, because I want to be sure I actually like the game. That's why I should play demos.
Not me, man. If I play it and I like
Ah.
it, I get mad because I can't play
Well,
any
if there
more
was
of
a
it.
demo of freaking Wizard of Legend, I would have loved it because it's a waste of money for me. Rage quit so hard.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of games that I just don't take a risk on. That's why I never buy them when they first come out. Except for Red Dead 2. I was there the day that they were. I got the first copy in town, so we're good.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, again, thanks for joining us. We'll be doing Pokemon giveaways again tomorrow and on Saturday. Thursday and Friday, I haven't really decided. Probably looking at League of Legends, maybe some PlayStation stuff. Don't know yet. And I think I'm gonna take this Sunday off.
Persona 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wanting to do Persona. I should play it. I think I'm gonna end up taking this Sunday off. Possibly. I need a break. I've been streaming every day for a month straight.
Hmm.
Like, even
I
if
don't know
it's
how you could do it.
oh well. I mean, it's been fun. I've made a lot of new friends and we've had a lot of new people. Hell,
Friends.
so you know.
F is for friends, dude. I'm shocked.
so so yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, tomorrow Pokemon giveaways. So I'll catch you guys here for that between noon and 5 Eastern Standard Time. Persona 5 for the furries. Um, yeah, so that's it. hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure you tune into if you're just here for just the podcast, you can tune in every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than
We
that,
don't really have like specific topics in mind usually. It's usually kind of like random with what game we may have heard of, or we will actually give our opinions in some kind of review like fashion and stuff like that. But I guess if we ever think of like an actual topic for the whole thing, we'll probably will be updated in the Discord chat, right?
yeah, yeah, we'll definitely update things in the Discord chat. I meant to tell you that Paul and I are lovers now.
Wasn't it kind of obvious because you told me you guys are going to live together? I'm not being the third wheel in that. You're going to draw all the yaoi love ship.
No, we're good. I'm perfectly fine where I'm at. I'm happy. I'm happy here. So, all right, guys, I do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll catch you
Thank you.
next time around.
Okay, bye.